Hi, my name is Sarah Jones, and my tech tool presentation is on the website called ReadKiddoRead. During this presentation, I will be answering the questions, what is it, how does it work, and why does it matter in teaching and learning? This website was created by James Patterson, a well-known author of thriller novels. All you need to use this tech tool is a computer and the internet. According to the website, a few years ago, Patterson was dealing with his son, Jack's, loss of interest and motivation to read books. Patterson decided to search for books that he knew his son had never read before, but would enjoy reading. Finding books that would make Jack more eager to read was part of his inspiration in creating the website ReadKiddoRead. Patterson used to only write adult novels, but this experience with his son also inspired him to begin writing books that children would enjoy reading. A quote from Patterson himself is shared on the ReadKiddoRead website. Patterson said, "Jack got me writing books that I thought other kids would love, to contribute a few books that hopefully will make kids readers for life." This pretty much sums up the answer to my first question, what is it? This entire website revolves around ways to motivate children to read and help them gain a new love for reading. This website is great for teachers, parents, librarians, and even grandparents. We all can think of a particular child who did not enjoy reading and avoided it at all costs. We all know how important it is for children to read. Reading benefits children in many ways and doesn't just help them educationally. According to the Commonwealth article titled On the Importance of Reading, written by Dana Goya, literature awakens, enlarges, enhances, and refines our humanity in a way that almost nothing else can. This answers the question, why does this website matter in teaching and learning? When we come across those students throughout our teaching career who absolutely do not enjoy reading, we can use this great tech tool. I don't think there is a single educator out there who does not want all of their students to become readers for life. This is not only a website we can use in our classroom, but we can also share it with parents for them to use at home. If you go to reviews and choose an age group, it takes you to a list of great books that children will love. You can read reviews of the books that have been written by parents and educators. Here is a review that is written by a parent for the book Llama Llama, Time to Share. There is a parent review and there's also an educator review. It is very beneficial when children have access to a variety of books at home as well as school. Parents do not always know what books to buy for their homes. These lists will give them some ideas of what to get. Also, when you click on a book, not only are there reviews of the book, but you can also find places where you can purchase the book. This aspect of the website is beneficial to children of all ages and reading levels. Another great aspect of the website is the Educators tab. Here, teachers can find numerous lesson plans they can use with particular children's books. For example, when I click on Know David, which is a book that I read to my students at the beginning of the school year, I find a lesson plan that I can use to assist the story. When I read this story, I'm wanting to discuss rules and why we have to follow rules. This is great for the kindergarten social studies standard number 10, which is discuss rights and responsibilities of individuals. There are several books that are listed, and there are books for all ages and reading levels. One problem you may encounter when using this website to find lesson plans for certain books is that some lesson plans are more geared towards an age level that may not be for a certain book or a certain age level that you need. You can also go to a lesson plans exchange page where educators post great lesson plans, sources, and other information that can be helpful to you, or you could even share it with the children's parents. You can also find videos that have been shared with great tips and ideas to make your classroom or home a better learning environment. For example, here is a video about teaching a child to use beginning sounds and picture clues to read words. If you are looking for books for a particular child, you can find a list of books that boys would love and a list of books that girls would love. Especially as children get older, boys and girls become interested in very different things. Just by scrolling through these quickly, when I click on Books for Girls, I can already tell these are books that most girls would love to read. When I click on Books for Boys, I can see that these are books geared towards boys and books that boys would enjoy reading. Right now, the home screen has a Halloween theme. The home screen changes throughout the seasons and holidays. When you click on the pumpkins for the different ages, such as ages 2 through 6, which is what I teach kindergarten, you find a list of books that would be appropriate and that would probably interest that age group that have the Halloween theme. The books that are suggested for ages 2 through 6 are Ghosts in the House, and it tells a little bit about the book beside that. Go Away, Big Green Monster, and The Little Old Lady Who Was Not Afraid of Anything. These are all great books to put out in the classroom during Halloween. You can put them in the front of the room and let the children read them when they finish their work early. You can put them in your classroom library. You can also send them home with the children and take them home to read with their parents during the Halloween season. Another thing I like about Read Kiddo Read is that there are tons of tips and ideas shared to help us make our classroom a better reading and learning environment. Up here with the Halloween themed things, there are 10 scary reading tips to get your children reading during the Halloween season. My favorite is number 7, create a Halloween party and read all together. This is a fun way to get your children to read and to make them excited about reading. Also, at the bottom of the website, James Patterson shares more tips on how to get your children reading. And then here it talks about, I hated to read till I read this book list for boys. and it's books that turn reluctant readers into non-stop reading machines. And this website really makes me think about my brother, who, when he was younger, he hated to read. He thought it was more of a chore or a punishment to have to read. He would avoid it. He would rather be outside playing or talking during class or doing something besides reading. But as he got older and started realizing that there were books out there that he could find that he would enjoy and that interest him, he started reading, and now he loves to read. I have made this handout to go along with my presentation. The idea goes along with the lesson that I teach at the beginning of the school year on classroom rules and following rules. And the title of the activity is called, Why Do We Have to Follow Rules? This would be a good lesson for kindergarten, but you could also use it as a first grade lesson or probably even a second grade lesson. The standards that it covers are Social Studies number 10, discuss rights and responsibilities of individuals in relation to different social groups, including family, peer group, and classmates. Language Arts number 5, demonstrate listening comprehension of passages, including retelling stories and answering questions. Language Arts number 8, use brainstorming, drawing, and discussion as elements of pre-writing in the writing process. And also Technology number 10, design original works using digital tools. The objectives for this lesson, our students will be able to explain why it is important to follow rules, list classroom rules and bad things that can happen when the rules are not followed, explain what happened when David in the book No David did not follow the rules, answer questions correctly about the book No David, and also draw a picture and talk about something bad that could happen if a particular classroom rule is broken using the app called Doodlecast on the classroom iPads. During this activity, I will use ReadKiddoRead as a source for the lesson plan. I got this idea from the lesson plan that was shared on ReadKiddoRead for the book No David by David Shannon. While I was reading this book, I would stop and ask the children questions to make sure they are comprehending. I would also pause and have them predict what would happen when David breaks a particular classroom rule. After reading the story, I would discuss our own classroom rules with the children. I would also use the classroom iPads. I would let the children use an app called Doodlecast. Doodlecast is a recording app. It records the children's drawings and their and audio. So it records what they are drawing and what they are saying while they're drawing. So I would let them use Doodlecast to verbally list things that can happen if a classroom rule is not followed, and they would draw something bad that could happen if they did not follow a classroom rule. Later, I would also allow them to just talk about their home rules and explain what could happen if they broke one of these rules. Seeing that No David, that was shared on ReadKiddoRead, was a book that my kids would be interested in. I already can tell you that this is true. They loved the book No David. So seeing other books that have been listed shows me that there are really great books on this website. So what I would let the kids do after this lesson is I would let them, while I assisted them, I would let them go to ReadKiddoRead, and I would let them choose another book that is on their level and that is appropriate, and let them choose a book that we could find in the classroom library or find in our school library to read later. Also at the bottom of the handout I have how I would assess the students during this lesson. While I have explored this website with you, I have answered the question, how does this tech tool work? I hope that I have sold you on this wonderful tech tool, and I hope that you will refer to this website to motivate the children in your life, whether they are your students or your own children who do not have a love for reading already.